And as you can clearly see, it is now nighttime here. And though the questioning of Park Geun-hye is over, the hearing itself is not. She faced more than 9 hours of questioning, cross-examination. Also, she gave her testimony as to why she believes the judge should not issue a warrant for her arrest. She denied or pleaded not guilty to all of those 13 charges. And, basically, as her defense has said all along, she believes this is a witch hunt, and she has been pleading absolutely not guilty to any of this. Now, her session is wrapped up, but the judge still needs to consult with the prosecution, with defense lawyers, and then you mentioned that vast volume of paperwork. The judge, of course, isn't going to read all of that tonight, but still has to sift through all the pertinent points. So what was a marathon is still a marathon. It's expected to stretch deep into the night, perhaps right through the night. Ousted South Korean President Park Geun-hye smiled briefly as she left her house. Her supporters vowed to prevent her from leaving, but they were too few for the enormous police presence. A short ride later, Park arrived at the court for a hearing on her potential arrest warrant, relating to allegations she bribed conglomerates to help enrich a friend and herself. Park Geun-hye became the first democratically elected South Korean leader to ever be ejected from office when earlier this month the country's constitutional court upheld her parliamentary impeachment. Scuffles erupted when a few anti-Park demonstrators tried to approach the courthouse where a larger number of Park supporters had gathered. More than 80 parliamentarians also signed a petition calling on the court to reject a warrant. A majority of South Koreans had called for Park to step down. Park claims she's innocent and her supporters claim it's a witch hunt.
They made this situation. They lied so much. It's very wrong. It's not good.
So many Korean women weeping, and they are. So how can I say? I'm weeping too.
The judge is currently studying the evidence and deliberating arguments from the prosecution and Park's lawyers. The hearing is expected to be a marathon and potentially may not wrap up until Friday morning. Well, Park has now left the courthouse just behind me. Most of the security that was here an hour ago is now back inside the police bus, as you can see, but she's been taken just a short distance away to the prosecutor's office. It's probably a 2-minute walk from here, and she's going to wait in the examination room there. But it's a lot better than the lockup, which is where most other people in her situation would be at the moment. So she is being given preferential treatment, but she will have to wait there in the prosecutor's office until she finds out whether or not a warrant for her arrest has been issued.
So, Jack, what legal proceedings await Park once the court approves or rejects her arrest? And will she be able to, as you mentioned, enjoy any privileges at all if she ends up in a detention center?
Well, we haven't heard that she'll be given any special privileges, but undoubtedly, as the president, there will certainly be consideration as to where she is housed in the prison and with whom. But we have heard that it may be the same prison that holds her friend Choi Soon-sil. Now, that's the woman accused of abusing her friendship with the president to coerce tens of millions of dollars out of these companies. If the warrant is issued, she will be detained. We know that for sure. So she'll be taken from the prosecutor's office to the detention center. If the warrant is rejected, though, she will go home. Now, that doesn't mean that the prosecution won't try for another warrant, because when the acting chief of Samsung, when a warrant was applied to the court here, that first warrant was rejected. It took a second attempt before he was arrested. But either way, it is still expected there will be a trial. That is not what is the issue here. This is just whether or not Park Geun-hye will attend that trial from her home, where her lawyers claim she is essentially under house arrest anyway, or from a detention center where she could travel back and forth to the courthouse in handcuffs with a police escort. That is what is at stake here.